As a point of privilege, and in the spirit of honoring faithful servants of the diocese, I invite the Reverend Canon Ernie Bennett to the podium to present a resolution for your consideration. Oh yeah, this one. You'll like this one.
Good to be back. I have a resolution that has a preamble, and I'm going to take some liberty of commenting as I go. The preamble begins this way. Council is a perfectly good name. It's not the most popular name, I'll tell you that. In doing a little research, I discovered that the most popular name this year, or last year, was Noah. Gary Jackson, you were ahead of your time there. Then Jack, then Leo, and then Harris. Council was the 1,791st most popular name. Social Security, and if they say it, you know it must be true, they estimated that of the American population, there were 79 people in the United States with the name Council. It's a pretty popular name, as you can tell. In 1804, Meriwether Lewis and William Clark, maybe you've heard of them, gathered with Native Americans at Council Bluff, or now Council Bluffs, in Iowa, across the Missouri from a place that I know pretty well now, in Omaha, as they set out to explore the newly purchased Louisiana Purchase. Council. It's a perfectly good name. But when Council Wooten, Jr. was named as Chancellor of the Episcopal Diocese of Central Florida, Chancellor Council was just too confusing. Fortunately, we were able to fall back on his long-standing nickname, Butch. A lot easier. It is in that name that the 55th Annual Diocesan Convention honors Butch Wooten, our chancellor for 34 years. Just a little over a third of a century. You feel that old? Whereas, Chancellor Butch Wooten, having accepted the appointment from Bishop John W. Howe to serve as diocesan chancellor, was introduced by the bishop to the 21st Annual Diocesan Convention, held at the Cathedral Church of St. Luke in Orlando on Saturday, January 27th, 1990. And whereas it is reported as a matter of record that Bishop Howe acknowledged publicly, and here's a quote, "Appointing Butch as the chancellor was the best decision of my episcopacy." There you go. And whereas Chancellor Butch Wooten regularly made it himself available to bishops, canons to the ordinary, diocesan staff without remuneration, other than the satisfaction of service to his beloved church, fielding frequent calls, I know about that, emails, text messages, and visits with professional advice and direction. And whereas Chancellor Butch Wooten has an extensive network of Episcopal attorneys in virtually all of the 15 counties that comprise the diocese, and has readily convinced many of them of the privilege of serving in their respective counties as needed. And they were needed often. Whereas Chancellor Butch Wooten helped guide the diocese through the turbulent times of disaffiliation and property disputes. Hope we never go there again, folks. Allowing congregations to depart with dignity while maintaining the polity of the Episcopal Church and the Diocese of Central Florida. And whereas Chancellor Butch Wooten encouraged and supported the efforts of Bishop Gregory Brewer in his efforts to reestablish stronger ties to the Episcopal Church, expanding opportunities for both women and people of color in leadership roles, and whereas Counselor Butch Wooten helped guide the diocese smoothly through 2 transitions in Episcopal elections, and most recently with the election of Bishop Justin S. Holcomb, and whereas Chancellor Butch Wooten has guided the diocese in matters dealing with canon law, secular law, property, risk management, finance, and a vast array of problems that we have never tired of presenting to him. And he's done so with integrity, good old-fashioned common sense, making us one of the most persistent and demanding of his clients. And whereas Chancellor Butch Wooten, upon assuming the role of chancellor, was told that his primary task was to keep the bishop out of jail, a feat he accomplished to perfection so far. And he has done that for 3 bishops, and I'll guarantee you their staffs as well. I always liked it when the sheriffs came and said, "Who's the resident agent?" And I wanted to slink into the corner. But he handled it with grace and accomplished his purpose. And whereas Chancellor Butch Wooten is a respected Christian gentleman and treasured friend of all of us, myself on the top of that list, sir. Therefore, be it resolved that the Episcopal Diocese of Central Florida, assembled in the city of Winter Park, Florida, on Saturday, January 27th, in the year of our Lord 2024, salutes Counsel Butch Wooten, Jr., and expresses our profound gratitude for his dedicated and loyal service over the past 34 years as our chancellor.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Second. Now that there's a second, and before we vote, the resolution is up for discussion.
The less said, the better.
Yeah, there you go.
We are now ready to take a voice vote. All of those in favor of adopting Resolution R-2, honoring Counsel Butch Wooten, signify by saying aye.
Aye. And I would suggest that we stand and give him a rousing hand.
Those opposed? The motion is adopted. Thank you, Canon Ernie, for a lot of the work on that and for honoring Butch. Butch, it's my honor as bishop to bestow on you the title of chancellor emeritus, which is something that we actually have talked about, and I talked to the presiding bishop's office about that as well, and that was an easy encouragement from them. And delegates, in addition to honoring Council Butch with this resolution, it's my pleasure to announce that he has accepted the role as Chancellor Emeritus as well. So while he won't be sitting up here on a regular basis, he still said he wants to be available to the diocese to serve, but just not available the way we just heard. We have two gifts. This is a leather folio engraved with the diocese, and then also we will be having a framed picture of the resolution with seal and everything else for you. So thank you again, Butch. Appreciate it.